Ready for the topic of the day?
I'm definitely ready for my topic of the day. I kind of want to go into the history of it, listen to some more Gloria Orion, and then go into kind of like, some callers want to talk about it, and then go into the cons and pros of having, a male or a female relationship. Because what is the topic? Can
platonic relationship
and men truly be friends? That's a big thing. What do you think, Miss Gigi? Real quick, what do you think? Yes or no?
I think yes, because I've experienced it. Two of my best friends in college were males, and it was 100% platonic. There was never any communication, whether verbal or nonverbal, that pointed to wanting to cross the line and have it become sexual in nature. It was just never there, never ever there. Of course, one of them did admit that he had hopes, but we became friends too fast, and so that he could never think about having a relationship with me any other way than the one that we had. But he said he did one the other way at first, but it didn't go that way. And that's the important
point. I think that's how most of them come about. I think, yes, you can be friends, but the beginning is a physical attraction, but you just end up becoming friends in most cases. Or the man is just not interested in your type, and so he can become a friend with you.
Well, in my case, I wasn't physically, they were both very attractive men. We all have our preferences and what attracts us, but they were not attracted to me in that way. So we were able to become friends. They had a lot of women chasing behind them. They were all, one of them was involved in multiple relationships with a lot of my friends that I knew.
Right.
And a lot of people all at the same time, and I knew for one thing, he wasn't a good boyfriend because of that, and I just never had that kind of an interest in him at all. But anyway, let's talk about what defines it. I found a whole bunch of different definitions for what defines a platonic relationship,
Okay.
And,
can I share a little bit about the history and then go right into that? Because I think the history is really interesting, and it takes us perfectly into that. Okay, so they say, that friendship between the sexes, the beginning of, of United States was something that was just unknown because men and women really didn't do anything together. So then they said, then came feminism in the late 18th century. So, the whole thing was, with your mate, you should be friends and lovers, which kind of like the term boyfriend or girlfriend began to appear in about the 1890s.
Oh, wow.
So they said, the whole thing was, it's not just sex, we're friends and lovers. I thought that was cute. And they said, we take it for granted now as, my spouse is my friend, but before it wasn't like that. It was just like, okay, we're getting married, we're having kids, and this is it. So,
okay, just reflection on that point, even from Williamsburg, we went by a house, and our little unofficial tour guide said this is property that was owned by a female. And you think, okay, well, whatever. We're talking 1600s. And it was, women could not own property back then. And how she got to do it, what would happen is if you were married and if your husband died, you immediately had to get married to someone else in order to hold on to anything, which, just a little note of interest, Martha Washington, George Washington was her second husband, and she had, her first husband had left her quite well heeled and quite well off. So he married her. He didn't have money, but she had money. But in any event, so you got to get married because back then, in the 1700s, it was like 17 men to every woman. 17 men.
They had it good then. That means you get to pick of the litter back then, all right? You follow me. They probably acted a whole lot better. See, that's how chivalry came upon because you had to, sweep a woman off her feet. Now they act like we're supposed to sweep them off their feet.
Right, but anyway, so she didn't abide by that, and she went to court, and she was able to win. She became an exception. I guess she was our first unofficial feminist, at least in Virginia, in that sense of being a landowner, property owner. And okay, go ahead.
So when we go into what is the definition of meanings?
Well, I have quite a number here. Someone just says it's often the term for a friendship between a man and a woman, which doesn't include a sexual element. An emotional and socially, but not sexually involved relationship. Then I got something else talking about the tendency of a woman to develop close relationships with their male acquaintances, thereby preemptively eliminating any possibility of a romantic relationship. You know,
wow.
and you know, and it goes the other way. You might hear some words that say like, "I have feelings for you, but I don't want to do anything that's going to mess up our friendship. You're like a brother to me." And the man's like, "Oh my God, how did I get to be a brother to her? I want something else."
Yeah.
So what that also says
like, how did I
get
into the friend zone?
Right, it's up to the woman to communicate those boundaries, and that's important. Usually it's the woman to communicate the boundaries and to keep those boundaries intact. Another one's talking about, you talked about the body language and how you can tell whether a relationship is actually platonic or not. And talk about, as I said, physical boundaries are established from the beginning, and you can read between the lines when you see two people together. If they're keeping a distance from each other, and that's a surety but they're enjoying each other's company, then they're probably just friends. Because you notice the way that they talk to each other, the facial expressions, and things become laid back and casual, and there's no tension in the relationship because you're just friends. You don't have a need to have any tension in the relationship. And both parties are comfortable. You can talk, you can disagree, you can agree, and, and things keep moving. So, so it's strictly platonic relationship without any sex at all. We have a caller that wants to chime in. Queen,
well,
let me go to the callers.
Before we go to the callers, let's go to another song and then start up all the callers. Because I think they have a little bit of the mill over for a few minutes.
Okay, go ahead. What
you say?
What we're going to hear now?
So we're going to hear "Wait a Minute."
All right.
That was a perfect kind of interlude to that. So wait a minute. Now I can't even say it. By Gloria Ryan. Unless that person hits one, don't do that. It doesn't mean
my head, my bed, and my face. Try to rewrite a chapter that you just erased. Baby, I had to back up to get everything you got. And now you're trying to come back in my face so easily, but you're not. Don't touch me there, don't try to hold on. This is more than physical, but don't you understand? What makes you think you can't go running back to me? Try to take it from 1 to 100. Why you wanna feel so down? Give me some time. If I want you you've done. Took a good thing and crumbled it. I think I may be done. You learn your lesson before you move on to the next one. Not to play with a heart.
All right. That was just our little taste of Wait a Minute. You going to wait a minute, Miss Gigi?
Well, a little bit late now. I've been in this marriage for 24 years. But anyway.
Too late for you. It's okay.
You know,
so also our caller, like, unpressed one. So for all our other listeners, if you have something to say, can men and women truly be friends, please dial one so we definitely know that you want to say something. But I'll kind of go while, we're waiting for people to press one. My a whole study, because they had a university study at the Texas of Austin, and they had 231 people, 100 males, and 131 females. And they were trying to outweigh kind of like the benefit versus cost. And I was surprised that it said more than half of the men reported a sexual attraction to their female friend. See, so women, we have to, more than 50%.
Well, it only makes sense because men are just so visual in nature, and we're talking about relationships that go against our natural tendencies, which is to cohabitate and be together. So I can imagine that for men, that it would be a bit more difficult. Not that it is impossible, because obviously, most people do believe that you can be just friends. But I would think
they say it's kind of like in their male, how do they call that? Like in their biological stuff that, you're supposed to have sex with as many female as you can to, make sure that you have children. So they say,
that your seed passes along. Yeah, that you continue.
The fly way of getting into women and their girlfriends.
Yeah, well, once again, the boundaries once again do have to be set and not crossed, because once it's crossed, you cannot go back. And I do understand why it would be men saying like, dang, you're looking at your girl, your friend, your girlfriend, your gal pal, and she's coming in looking really good, and maybe something that's steering you, and maybe it won't. But if you value the friendship, you'll keep it under control. Is what I think. So.
And once again, when women, we go, okay, you saying that's your girlfriend. Check this out, ladies. 22% of men said they had slept with their women friends, and in comparison to 10% of women said they had slept with their guy friends.
That's bad. Because then that kind of substantiates why outsiders, who tend to be most people who interlude in these types of gal and girl and guy pal relationships, are people on the outside who just cannot believe that men and women can actually be friends and it's strictly platonic. There is nothing sexual in the relationship at all. So that kind of substantiates the claim of outsiders feeling like, you just can't be friends with someone of the opposite sex. You and him, or you and she must have something going on, and y'all just not talking about it. So,
there always is a reason for women to be leery. Now, I also want to talk about just positive things of having, those platonic friendships. Because, networking. You know what I mean? Here's about going to know people that you don't know. It's another chance to network, even with, opposite sexes. because, of course, most of us, in the study said, have same-sex friendships. So it's a way of network.
Okay. I wanted to just dwell on that topic for a second, what you just said, and then go back into what you said earlier about how the roles of male and females have changed over the years. And there was a time when you were married, that's all you did. The men and women didn't do much together other than keep a house, have babies, and whatever. But now we're in the workforce together. We're doing a lot of things together that just did not happen before. We're hanging out, we're on the job doing projects together, and then we confide in one another. So even that has evolved, and so maybe it allows for more guy and gal pal relationships to actually come about. Anyway, go ahead.
And plus, you have a male or female that you can talk to get the other one's perspective on how a man and woman think. You know what I mean?
Right.
You might be in a relationship and go, well, I can't ask a man how a woman thinks, as is, I'm sure, of course, Steve Harvey's trying to tell all women of what we should do. But, most times they want, opposite sex to kind of bounce things off and say, am I tripping? Is this right? And I think that's a good thing.
Well,
because men always go, don't ask, your female friends. So, one male friend ain't going to hurt.
Right. Well, once again, you have to set the boundaries. Just that simple. You set the boundaries, and you leave it, and you leave them there. And you don't cross those boundaries. And if you feel as if you cannot, or he or she cannot, then you probably just need to leave the relationship alone, because you shouldn't have to struggle with anybody just to be their friend. If they want to be more than friends, a friend with benefits, then, and you're not interested in having a friend with benefits, then you probably just need to be honest and open and communicate what you're feeling and thinking and keep it moving. Because you don't want that's unnecessary stress in your life, is the way I feel. And so, and by putting the pressure on someone, then you have lost, the major benefit of having someone. I think the person on hold did want to say something. So let me go back to our listener, because they keep going in and out. Okay. All right, listen, did you have something you want to share?
Hi, ladies. How you doing?
Oh,
good. How are you?
Good. I did just want to say two things. You can always be friends with the male or the female side. It doesn't matter. I think it should be very clear as to what you want to achieve in that relationship or that friendship. If you're friends and you keep it strictly as friends, where you may hang out, you may be a coworker, you don't cross those boundaries, and that should always be understood. If the two people share that in common and it doesn't lead to anything else, meaning the other person may not have some underlying objectives, then it can last. It can be consistent. I have a friend who's actually my coworker, but he's been my friend for 7 years. He's the godfather of my son as well. But we have a very strict work relationship, as well as we all socialize together, but we don't do anything beyond that. It's not like, we're going to hang out, I'm going to come past your house, something like that. It's not like that. It's just very simple. We work together. He's also a part of my son's life, but we've always been that close. And I think it's very simple. If you keep it clear, I'm dating so-and-so, he's dating so-and-so. You meet these people, and, they're fine. It keeps people from getting all of those opinions like, well, who is she and why are they here? That cuts all of that down. If everybody keeps the communication open and just state exactly what's going on, if it's nothing, no foul play, it's no foul play. That's all it is to it. We're all adults.
That's true. So, and I think that's wonderful that you are able to have that platonic relationship. However, I know just sometimes it doesn't work like that. I'm glad you were able to find that. But, have you ever been in a situation where you're going, no, I'm not even interested, I just want to be friends, and then it can turn into a friendship? Because I feel like most time men start to get bitter when they want something more and they don't want to, be friends.
I think it's more if you allow it to be more. If you keep it clear, no, I have a man, I'm not like that, they get the point. They'll back off. Either they'll leave you alone, or they'll keep on pursuing you, or they'll subside and accept exactly what it is, a friendship.
Oh, okay. Well, lay down that law, caller.
Thank you, Paula. Appreciate it. Yeah, thanks a lot. So once again, even the caller is stressing the importance of communication and keeping it real, and not allowing those lines to cross. So if they're your friend, they're your friend. And another thing you think about, I would think it would be dangerous to be alone with your gal or guy pal and all the time. I think that creates a situation that could be very dangerous and lead to situations and places where you really don't want to go. So I think you need to be careful of that. And if you're married, that makes it even more so. You just can't be out running around seeing with a member of the opposite sex and expect your spouse to be, just in 100% support of that. So I think that, even you can have a gal or a guy pal, you have to be aware of other people who you are in relationships with as well.
Yeah, that's definitely true. Well, I just think that, especially for women, I think a male is nice, one, for protection. I just love that. I think a male definitely looks better walking to your car at night, making sure.
Sure.
If a man disrespecting you and y'all both out, it's nice to just have, that one person like, nah, So that's my opinion. I think you truly can be friends. Like the caller said, like we're all saying, you set the tone of relationships. So, anything else to say, Miss Gigi?
No, I just kind of agree that men and women can be friends within a platonic relationship. And I think it's clearly a lot of times it's going to be the woman that sets those boundaries and keeps those boundaries in place. Men, by their very nature, their very biological nature, some of them may try to cross over, and it's up to the female, I think. And then if they're not listening, as the caller suggested, then keep it real. Let them know this is not happening, not interested, whatever. And I feel like when someone puts pressure on you on a relationship, it's supposed to be casual and easygoing, then leave it alone. That's unnecessary stress. Right. That's the way I feel. So
yeah, definitely. So we're going to wrap it up. Once again, big shout-outs for our featured artist of the day, Miss Gloria Ryan. I think we just should close out with the last song, What About Me? And, Mom, do you have anything to say before we close it on out?
No, just, RIB family, we appreciate your support. Keep tuning in. We're going to start offering some opportunities for some free vacations, and we'll let you know about that. And we want to offer you anything we know about. We want to give it to you also. So there you go.
You go. So make sure to follow us on Facebook at RIB Media, on Twitter, RIB Radio. Now we're just going into What About Me by Gloria Ryan.
Don't get it, why you gotta go with living with me when I'm your girlfriend, Man, I just don't get it, you should wanna come play with me, your girlfriend. I can't come sometimes, I get jealous when you're out with your boys, ignoring my texts and calls, constantly complaining, I'm nagging.
going to Miss Gloria did call in. We'll have her on in person next week. We're going to close up the show for today, and we thank you again for listening. We love you, RIB family. This is Gigi signing off, and I hope you all have a wonderful, blessed week. Love you.